Life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments when it feels like everything is falling apart. But what if I told you that most of the struggles you face aren't because life is against you, but because you're ignoring some of the most powerful lessons that could change everything? It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of day-to-day problems, the bills piling up, the relationship issues, the health concerns, or the constant pressure to keep up with everyone around you. We often feel overwhelmed, stuck, and unsure of how to move forward. But the reality is, most of our problems stem from one simple truth. We're not paying attention to the fundamental life lessons that can unlock the door to a better, more fulfilled. There are powerful lessons that, when applied, can shift your mindset, transform your habits, and completely change your reality. These aren't abstract, wishful thinking ideas. They're grounded in everyday, practical wisdom that we often overlook. And when we ignore these lessons, we allow life's problems to overwhelm us, leaving us stuck in a cycle of frustration, confusion, and stagnation. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 life-changing lessons that could be the key to unlocking the success, peace, and joy that you've been searching for. These aren't just tips or tricks. They are deep, foundational truths that have the power to shift the way you view yourself, your relationships, and your place in the world. If you can internalize these lessons and make them a part of your everyday life, I promise you this, things will begin to change. The problems you've been struggling with won't seem so insurmountable. The road ahead won't feel as impossible to navigate. You'll realize that you have everything within you to create the life you deserve. So, get ready to break free from the cycle of frustration. It's time to stop ignoring the lessons that can change everything and start living in alignment with the wisdom that's been waiting for you all along. Because once you do, life won't just get better, it will become extraordinary. Let's dive in. Part 1, the power of self-awareness. Understanding yourself is the first step. When you take a hard look at your life, you might notice a pattern. Things don't always go the way you want, and often it feels like life is pushing you in directions you didn't expect or even want. But let's be real for a moment. The toughest part isn't always what's happening to you. It's what you're doing or not doing in response to it. And more often than not, the real reason we find ourselves stuck is that we're ignoring some very important lessons that could change everything. These lessons are simple, but the truth is, most people overlook them, or worse, they dismiss them entirely. One of the biggest challenges we face today is the lack of self-awareness. Self-awareness is understanding who you are at your core. It's about knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, your values, and your goals. It's about having an honest relationship with yourself. And I know that sounds simple enough, but let me tell you, this is where most people miss the mark. They go through life on autopilot, not really paying attention to their thoughts, their emotions, and their actions. They just drift from one day to the next, hoping that things will work out, but without really understanding why things aren't working. You can't fix what you don't understand. That's the problem with ignoring self-awareness. If you don't know what's going on inside you, how can you possibly expect to understand what's happening around you? You see, life isn't just happening to you. Life is responding to you. The way you see the world, the way you react to challenges, and the way you choose to live each day all play a huge part in shaping your reality. If you're not aware of the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act, then how do you expect things to improve? Take a moment and think about your life. How often do you find yourself reacting to situations instead of responding with intention? How often do you feel like you're just going through the motions? You wake up, go to work, deal with people, come home, and repeat the cycle. But if you're not taking the time to pause and ask yourself, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this? What's driving my actions? Then how will you ever figure out if you're on the right track? Self-awareness is the first step to everything. It's the foundation. When you start to understand yourself, your motivations, and your patterns of behavior, you begin to see where things have gone off course. Maybe you've been following the wrong path for years, but you didn't realize it because you weren't paying attention. Self-awareness isn't just about looking back. It's about looking forward and understanding the decisions you're making. It's about taking control of your life and your destiny instead of letting your circumstances or other people dictate what happens next. So how do you become more self-aware? It starts with slowing down. It starts with being present. We live in a world that is moving faster than ever, and it's easy to get caught up in the rush. But if you don't stop to take a breath, to reflect on where you've been and where you're going, then you'll miss out on the clarity that comes with self-awareness. Take time each day to check in with yourself. How are you feeling? What's going on inside your mind? What are your goals? What are your fears? And most importantly, what are you doing every day to move towards the life you want? It's not always easy to face these questions, especially when you're not happy with where you are. But self-awareness is about being brutally honest with yourself. It's about looking at your life without the rose-colored glasses and saying, okay, here's where I am and here's where I want to be. Now, it's important to remember that self-awareness isn't something that happens overnight. It's a continuous journey. You don't just wake up one day and magically understand everything about yourself. But as you begin to peel back the layers and really dig deep, you'll start to see patterns emerge. You'll begin to understand why certain situations or people trigger you. You'll see where your strengths lie and where you need to grow. And once you have that understanding, everything begins to shift. But here's the kicker. Once you start becoming more self-aware, you can't ignore it. It's like opening a door to a room you've been avoiding your whole life. Once the door is open, you can't just close it again. You have to face what's inside. And that can be uncomfortable, but that discomfort is where the real change happens. Growth isn't always fun, but it's necessary. Imagine if you had a map of your life, and that map showed you exactly where you were going wrong. Wouldn't you want to know that? Wouldn't you want to be able to adjust your course before you run into a dead end? That's what self-awareness gives you, a map. It gives you the tools to see your patterns, identify your weaknesses, and make better decisions moving forward. The truth is, a lack of self-awareness is like being blindfolded on a road trip. You're still moving, but you have no idea where you're headed. And you might be driving straight toward a cliff, but because you can't see it, you don't even realize it until it's too late. But when you take the blindfold off, everything changes. You begin to make better decisions. You begin to choose a better path. You begin to understand your own power. So the next time you feel stuck, overwhelmed, or lost, ask yourself, do I truly know what's going on inside me? Ask yourself, what am I not seeing about myself? And take the time to answer honestly. Because when you do, everything else starts to fall into place. You begin to live with purpose. You begin to live with clarity. And you begin to move through life with the confidence that you're in control. Self-awareness is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And it's the key to unlocking everything you want in life. Take the time to know yourself, to understand who you really are, and watch how your world starts to change. Because the more you know yourself, the more you realize you're not just reacting to life, you're creating it. And that's when the magic happens. Part 2, the importance of boundaries, saying no to protect your peace. When we talk about boundaries, it's easy to nod along and think we understand the concept. But the truth is, Most people don't fully grasp the importance of boundaries in their lives. Boundaries aren't just about saying no to others. They're about saying yes to yourself. It's about respecting your own needs, protecting your energy, and creating space where you can thrive. Without boundaries, life becomes a blur of other people's demands, expectations, and pressures. And before you know it, you've lost sight of who you are, what you want, and what you're capable of. If you're struggling in life, chances are you're allowing others to overstep their bounds. Maybe it's at work, with friends, or even within your own family. You're saying yes when you really need to say no, and the weight of all that unspoken pressure is wearing you down. It's exhausting. But here's the thing, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're constantly giving to others without taking the time to care for yourself, you're going to burn out. And that's where boundaries come in. Boundaries are not about being selfish. They're about self-preservation. It's about acknowledging that your time, your energy, and your peace of mind are precious. Think of them like the foundation of a house. If the foundation isn't strong, everything else will crumble. Your ability to set healthy boundaries is what gives you the strength to build a life that aligns with your values, your goals, and your needs. People tend to struggle with setting boundaries because they fear rejection, confrontation, or conflict. We want to be liked, we want to fit in, and we don't want to upset anyone. But here's the harsh reality. If you're constantly putting everyone else's needs before your own, you're not doing anyone any favors. You're teaching people to take advantage of you, and in the long run, you'll start to resent them for it. And worse, you'll start to resent yourself. But when you learn to say no, when you draw that line and protect your space, you're not just helping yourself, you're helping everyone around you too. Think about it for a moment. When was the last time you said yes to something you didn't really want to do, just to avoid conflict or to please someone else? How did it feel? Probably not great. Maybe you felt drained, stressed, or resentful. But when you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you make room for the things that do. You're protecting your time, your energy, and your peace. And when you protect those things, you show up as the best version of yourself. You become more focused and more able to give to the things and people that truly matter to you. Here's a powerful exercise you can try. The next time someone asks something of you that you're unsure about, pause it. Instead of rushing to say yes out of habit or obligation, take a step back and ask yourself, does this align with my goals? Is this something that will bring me peace or stress? And if the answer is no, don't be afraid to set that boundary. It's not about being rude or inconsiderate. It's about protecting your peace and your well-being. The thing is, boundaries aren't just about saying no to other people. They're about saying yes to yourself. When you set boundaries, you're telling yourself that your needs matter. You're telling yourself that your time is valuable. You're telling yourself that your mental and emotional health is worth protecting. And that's not selfish, that's self-respect. Now, let's talk about the challenge of sticking to your boundaries. Setting boundaries is hard enough, but maintaining them can feel like an uphill battle. People will test your limits. They'll push back, try to guilt trip you, or make you feel bad for saying no. It's uncomfortable at first, but remember this, when you allow people to push your boundaries, you teach them that it's okay to disrespect your needs. The more you hold firm to your boundaries, the more others will respect them. And over time, you'll find that it gets easier. There's another thing that makes boundary setting difficult: guilt. It's natural to feel guilty for saying no, especially when you've been conditioned to be a people pleaser. But here's the truth, guilt doesn't serve you. It only keeps you trapped in a cycle of overcommitment and stress. The guilt you feel when you say no is nothing more than an old habit trying to keep you stuck in unhealthy patterns. The more you practice setting and respecting your boundaries, the less guilty you'll feel. And eventually you'll realize that saying no isn't a burden, it's a gift you give yourself. Boundaries also allow you to give more fully to the things that matter most. When you're not stretched thin by everyone else's demands, you have the energy and focus to pursue your passions, invest in your relationships, and work on your personal growth. You can finally start to live life on your own terms. And that, my friend, is where true happiness comes from. When you're not constantly saying yes out of obligation, you can start saying yes to the things that align with your purpose and bring you joy. Now, let's talk about the most important aspect of boundaries, protecting your peace. Life is busy, chaotic, and often stressful. We're constantly being pulled in 1,000 directions. But without boundaries, all that noise becomes overwhelming. You can't control everything, but you can control how much of it you let in. When you set clear boundaries, you're making a commitment to yourself that you won't let outside forces rob you of your peace. You're choosing to protect your mental and emotional well-being, and that's one of the most powerful choices you can make. People who respect your boundaries are the ones who will add value to your life. The ones who push against them are the ones you need to reassess. Setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away. It's about drawing a line that says, I value myself and I deserve respect. It's about creating the space where your best self can thrive. And when you do that, the people who truly matter will respect it. They'll understand that when you say no, it's not personal. It's about honoring your needs and showing up as the best version of yourself. Boundaries are the key to protecting your time, your energy, and your peace. They allow you to show up for yourself and the people who matter most. Without boundaries, you're constantly being pulled in different directions. But when you create and maintain healthy boundaries, you build a life that reflects your values, your priorities, and your true self. So start setting them, start respecting them, and watch how your life changes for the better. Part 3, embracing failure, why falling is essential for growth. When we talk about failure, most people cringe. They try to avoid it at all costs. It's almost like we've been conditioned to think that failure is the end of the road, something to fear and run from. But the truth is, failure is not the enemy. In fact, it's often the very thing that pushes you forward. If you're afraid of failure, you're robbing yourself of one of the greatest teachers you could ever have. Failure, if you learn to embrace it, is an essential part of growth. So, too many people see failure as a setback, something that defines their worth or their ability. But what if I told you that failure isn't the thing that holds you back? It's the fear of it. The fear of looking stupid, the fear of not measuring up, the fear of disappointing others. All these fears keep you in your comfort zone, playing small, and avoiding the risk that comes with doing something meaningful. But the most successful people, the ones who achieve greatness, are the ones who fail over and over again. They don't let failure stop them. They let it teach them, push them, and refine them. The first time you try something new, you're not going to be perfect. That's just reality. Whether it's starting a new job, launching a business, learning a new skill, or even trying a new relationship, there are going to be bumps along the way. And that's okay. What matters is how you handle those bumps. Do you let them discourage you? Do you throw in the towel the first time things don't go as planned? Or do you pick yourself up, learn from the mistake, and keep going? Here's the deal. Failure isn't a permanent state. It's a temporary experience, one that can teach you more than success ever will. Each failure is a lesson. Each mistake is an opportunity to grow. It's the not giving up part that matters most. I've seen it countless times. The people who persevere through failure are the ones who eventually find success. It's not the ones who never fail, but the ones who keep moving forward despite their failures. Let me tell you something important. The most successful people in this world didn't just wake up one day at the top. They failed, they stumbled, they fell flat on their faces, but they didn't stop there. They figured out what went wrong, adjusted their approach, and tried again. Failure is part of the journey. It's not the end of the road. It's a detour, a learning curve, a reminder that you're on the right path, even when it feels tough. Think about any skill you've ever learned. Maybe it's a sport, playing an instrument, or cooking a new recipe. You weren't great at it the first time, right? But you didn't quit. You kept practicing, learning from your mistakes, and getting better with each attempt. It's the same with life. The first time you try something big, you're not going to be a pro. But you can't let that scare you. You can't let those early failures make you think that success isn't possible for you. Because every failure brings you one step closer to your goal. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. This is where the magic happens. When you embrace failure as part of the process, you free yourself from the fear of it. You stop seeing failure as a reflection of your worth and start seeing it as a sign that you're pushing your limits, stretching your capabilities, and trying something that matters. So many people hold themselves back because they're terrified of failing. But those who succeed are the ones who don't let failure dictate their worth. They learn from it. They grow from it. They use it as fuel for their next attempt. Here's a powerful thought. Failure is a teacher, but only if you choose to learn from it. When you fail, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Instead of, why did this happen to me? Shift your mindset. Start seeing failure as a friend, not a foe. It's a reminder that you're trying. It's proof that you're stepping outside your comfort zone and doing something new. If you weren't failing, that would probably mean you weren't trying hard enough. Let's look at the people who inspire us most. Those who've made a big impact in the world. What do they all have in common? They've failed. Think about Thomas Edison. He didn't invent the light bulb on his first try. In fact, he failed thousands of times before he found the right combination. But he didn't stop. He said, I have not failed. I've just found sure-ling ways that won't work. And look at the impact that had on the world. Now imagine if he had given up after his first few failures. We'd still be sitting in the dark. Then there's the story of Walt Disney. He was fired from a newspaper job because he lacked imagination. He failed in many of his early ventures, and even his first few theme parks didn't succeed. But instead of letting those failures define him, he kept pushing forward. Today, Disney is one of the most successful companies in the world. Why? Because he didn't let failure stop him. He understood that failure was just part of the process. This isn't just for famous people either. This applies to you as well. Think about the times you've tried and failed. Sure, it stings in the moment, but those failures are what have shaped you. Every time you've stumbled, you've gained something invaluable, experience. And experience is what allows you to adjust, improve, and move forward. If you want to get good at anything in life, whether it's your career, your relationships, or a personal goal, you've got to be willing to fail. And not just fail once, fail many times. But with each failure, you get better, you get stronger, you get wiser. The more you fail, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the closer you get to success. Now, let me remind you of something important. Failure doesn't define you. Your response to failure does. What you choose to do after you fall determines whether you stay down or rise. And rising is where true growth happens. So don't fear failure. Welcome it. Let it teach you. Let it fuel you. And remember, success doesn't come from never falling. It comes from getting back up every single time. So go ahead, take risks, fail, learn, and then do it all over again, but better. Because in the end, the greatest failure is not in falling. It's in never trying at all. Embrace failure. It's a sign you're on the path to something great. Keep going. Part 4, the art of letting go, how clinging to the past holds you back. Letting go is one of the hardest things we'll ever do in life. We hold on to things, people, and situations because we're afraid of what might happen if we let go. It could be an old grudge, a failed relationship, a toxic job, or even outdated beliefs and habits that no longer serve us. The longer we cling to what's behind us, the less room we have for what's ahead. And here's the painful truth. As long as we keep holding on to the past, we're never truly free. So many of us spend our lives dragging around baggage from years, even decades ago. We carry the weight of old hurts, missed opportunities, and disappointments, and we think that if we just hold on tight enough, things will somehow get better. But they don't. In fact, they get worse. The more we cling, the more we limit our potential for growth and happiness. It's like trying to drive forward while looking in the rearview mirror. You can't see where you're going, and all you're doing is crashing into obstacles you could have avoided. The past is a place of reference, not residence. It's a chapter of your story, not the whole book. But so often, we let the past define us. We let old failures, bad decisions, or painful experiences shape who we are today. And we end up letting those things hold us back from the future we deserve. You see, the longer you hold on to things that no longer serve you, the more you are robbing yourself of the opportunity to grow. Holding on keeps you stuck in a loop. It keeps you trapped in a place where you're always looking back, wondering, what if? Instead of looking forward, thinking, what's next? Letting go isn't about forgetting. It's not about erasing the past or pretending it didn't happen. It's about releasing the emotional hold it has on you. It's about saying, I can't change what happened, but I can change how I let it affect me moving forward. You might have been hurt in the past, you might have failed, been disappointed, or even betrayed. But those experiences don't define you. They're just lessons, hard lessons, but lessons all the same. You're not meant to carry the weight of your past with you forever. Every moment you hold on to old grudges or regret, you're denying yourself the freedom to move forward. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you're weak or that you're forgetting what happened. It means you're strong enough to free yourself from the emotional chains that are holding you hostage. It means you're choosing peace over pain, growth over stagnation, and opportunity over fear. Now, I know it's not easy. Letting go of people or situations that have been part of your life for so long can feel like you're losing a piece of yourself. But what if I told you that letting go is actually the key to becoming the person you're meant to be? Sometimes we hold on because we don't know what's next. We're afraid of the unknown. But the unknown is where all the magic happens. The future, the life you want, the person you're destined to become, it's all waiting for you, but it can't come in until you make space for it. One of the most liberating things you can do is give yourself permission to move on. Give yourself permission to release the old, the broken, and the things that no longer align with your highest good. When you do that, you're making room for the new, the better, and the beautiful things that life is waiting to give you. You're opening up to new opportunities, new relationships, new ways of thinking, and new ways of being. Letting go doesn't always mean walking away from someone or something entirely. Sometimes it's about shifting your perspective. It's about changing how you relate to something or someone. For example, letting go of the past might mean forgiving someone who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Forgiving isn't for the other person, it's for you. It's saying, I'm not going to let what you did define me anymore. When you hold on to bitterness, you let someone else's actions control your emotional state. But when you let go, you take back control. Letting go also means releasing the unrealistic expectations you've set for yourself. We all have this idea of what life should be. A perfect job, the perfect relationship, the perfect family, the perfect everything. But the truth is, life isn't perfect, and neither are we. When you let go of these impossible expectations, you free yourself from the constant stress of trying to live up to them. You start to embrace where you are, who you are, and the journey you're on. It's not about being perfect. It's about being authentic, being real, and learning to love yourself through the ups and downs. Now, think about the energy it takes to hold on to something that no longer serves you. Every time you replay the past in your mind, every time you think about what you lost or missed, you're draining your energy. It takes up space in your head and your heart, space that could be filled with new ideas, new dreams, and new goals. You can't move forward if you're constantly looking backward. You can't create a new future if you're still attached to a past that doesn't exist anymore. Letting go is not about weakness, it's about strength. It's about the courage to say, I deserve better, and the wisdom to know that better is waiting for you just on the other side of release. You might be afraid of what's next, but I promise you this, the unknown holds more promise than you could ever imagine. It's in the unknown that you'll find new possibilities, new connections, and new opportunities to grow. But first, you have to let go of what's holding you back. So, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what am I holding on to that I need to let go of? Maybe it's a past relationship, a job that's draining you, or old patterns of thinking that have kept you stuck. Whatever it is, let it go. Release it and make space for the future you deserve. Because you can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. Let go of what no longer serves you and open yourself up to everything that is waiting for you. You deserve it. And the only way to experience the new is to release the old. So set yourself free. Let go and watch how everything begins to change. Part 5. The value of gratitude, shifting focus from lack to abundance. Gratitude is one of those things we all know we should practice, but we often forget or take for granted. It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind, constantly chasing the next goal, the next achievement, or the next thing that we think will bring us happiness. We focus on what we don't have instead of appreciating what we do. But here's a truth that's hard to swallow. Living in a state of scarcity, constantly looking at what's missing, only creates more lack. It feeds a cycle of dissatisfaction and discontentment. Gratitude, on the other hand, is the key to shifting your mindset from lack to abundance. When you take time to reflect on what you're grateful for, you're not just acknowledging the good things in your life. You're actively training your mind to focus on abundance, scarcity. Gratitude is a powerful tool that can transform your perspective, your energy, and ultimately, your life. It's not just a nice thing to do, it's a life-changing habit. Think about it for a moment. When was the last time you paused and truly appreciated what you have? Not just the big things like your job or your health, but the small, everyday blessings. A warm cup of coffee in the morning, a text from a friend, the beauty of the sunset, or simply having a roof over your head. So often, we overlook these little things, yet they are the very things that make life rich and meaningful. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already here. And when you focus on what's already here, you begin to notice more of it. You begin to attract more good things into your life. Not because you're trying to, but because you've started to see and appreciate them more. The power of gratitude lies in its ability to change your energy. You see, everything is energy. Your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and your mindset. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you elevate your energy. It's impossible to be in a state of gratitude and feel negative emotions at the same time. Gratitude is a high-frequency emotion, and when you align yourself with that frequency, you now naturally begin to attract more of what you're grateful for. It's the law of attraction in action. what you focus on expands. So why is gratitude so important when it comes to overcoming life's challenges? Because it helps you reframe difficult situations. When you're facing adversity, it's easy to get consumed by frustration, disappointment, or even despair. But gratitude allows you to see beyond the struggle. It helps you find the silver lining in every situation, no matter how tough it may seem. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What can I learn from this?" Or better yet, "How can this make me stronger?" When you focus on what you're grateful for, you start to notice opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You see solutions where you once saw problems. Gratitude shifts your mindset from a scarcity mentality, where you believe that things are limited and you're constantly fighting to get ahead, to an abundance mentality, where you believe that there's always enough. And when you adopt this mindset, the world begins to open up to you. You stop chasing after things that will never satisfy you and begin to appreciate the things that truly matter. Now, gratitude isn't just about thinking positive thoughts or putting on a fake smile when things are tough. It's about truly feeling the appreciation for what you have, no matter how big or small. It's about taking the time to acknowledge the blessings you have in your life, even if things aren't perfect. And it's about being thankful, not just for the easy things, but for the lessons that come with hardship, the growth that comes from failure, and the resilience that comes from facing challenges head on. Gratitude is also a game changer when it comes to relationships. It's easy to focus on what people are doing wrong, what they're not giving, or how they're falling short of your expectations. But when you practice gratitude, you start to see people for who they are, not just what they do for you. You begin to appreciate the little things they bring into your life, their support, their kindness, their presence. You notice their strengths instead of their flaws. And as you shift your focus to appreciation, you create a positive energy that ripples through your relationships. You attract more positivity, more love, and more connection into your life. Gratitude also helps you break free from the constant need for external validation. When you're constantly seeking approval or recognition from others, it's easy to feel like you're not enough. But when you practice gratitude, you begin to realize that everything you need to feel whole is already within you. You start to recognize your own worth, your own value, and the things you've accomplished. You stop measuring your success by how others see you and start measuring it by how you see yourself. And that, my friend, is true freedom. Here's a simple exercise you can do every day to cultivate more gratitude in your life. Take a few minutes each morning or evening to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big things like your health or your family, or small things like a warm bed or a delicious meal. Write them down in a journal or simply think about them in your mind. The key is to focus on the positive, no matter how small the moments might seem. Continue this practice. You'll start to notice how much more you have to be grateful for than you ever realized. Your life will begin to shift, not because the external circumstances change, but because your internal world has shifted. The beautiful thing about gratitude is that it's available to you right now. It doesn't require any special circumstances, and it doesn't cost anything. It's a choice you make every day. And when you choose to live in gratitude, you unlock a whole new level of abundance and joy in your life. You stop waiting for things to get better to start feeling grateful, and instead, you begin to find the beauty and the blessings in the present moment.